Did Mingyang knock Johnny Walker's head right off his shoulders, through your television set, and into your lap, like I thought he would? Or did something else happen? We're going to find that out today as we do a reaction video, recap video to UFC Fight Night Shanghai Zhang versus Walker. It was a good card. It was a really good card. It was a really fun card. I'm glad I stayed up. I still haven't slept. I'm very tired. Okay? They're throwing off my sleep schedule, my sleep pattern. They're throwing it off. But okay, let's get right into it. It was six finishes on the fight card tonight. Lot of finishes, right? Very exciting. No long, boring, dragged out fights. There was one that was really boring and dragged out and long that I thought was going to be a banger. I even said in my prediction video that it would be a banger, and it was not a banger. Okay, it was very, very much the opposite. We'll discuss that when we get there. I was not happy about this one because I was very, very excited for that fight. That was supposed to be a banger, but then it wasn't a banger. Okay, Uran. We're gonna jump right into it, guys. Uran SatyBaldiev versus Diyar Nueraji. Diyar Nueraji is not good. He gets dropped in every fight. Like Brenton Rivero dropped him, Komored him. He gets dropped by SatyBaldiev. Dropped him badly. I predicted a first round KO by SatyBaldiev. Yeah, SatyBaldiev almost did the same thing that Brenton Rivero did. He got him into Kimura. Dyer was able to wiggle his way out. He ended up getting an Ezekiel choke, which is very rare, and strangled him with a Ezekiel choke. So he won in the first round by finish, like I said, but it wasn't a KO. It was a submission. On to the next. We got Xiao versus Suyoung. This is a unanimous decision, 29-28 in favor of Suyoung. This was a first round, second round. Suyoung won this fight. Xiao won the third round. Very much so. He really picked it up in the third round. I gave the first round to Suyoung because although Xiao outlanded him by one significant strike, I thought Suyoung was more accurate. He was hitting him with some calf kicks. The threat of the takedown was there. The pressure was there. It looked like Xiao was just like, okay, I do not want to engage too much. I don't want this guy to take me down, so I'm not going to engage as much as I should, and that gave him problems in the entire fight. Second round, much of the same. Suyoung did outland him in the second round, 25 significant strikes to 16. I just thought that this was the optics thing. Xiao did throw a lot more strikes than Suyoung, but he missed a lot. He missed a lot more. So the optics of that is just like, okay, they're landing the similar amount of strikes. This came down to the first round, in my opinion. Whoever won the first round wins this fight. Because it was a clear win for Suyoung in the second, clear win for Xiao in the third. The first round that was close, but Xiao missed a lot more, so the optics were okay. He's throwing a lot, but he's missing a lot. So even though he did land 11 significant strikes to Suyoung's 10, the 10 that Suyoung threw, he landed more accurately. So it just looked better. The optics were on his side. I still thought he landed the better shots anyway. So I did score the first round and the second round for Suyoung. We did predict this right. We are now 2-0 on the night. On to the next. We got Yizha versus Westin Wilson. Westin Wilson cannot take a punch ever from anyone. It doesn't matter who it is. In all 4 of his fights in the UFC, this man has been dropped, curls up in a ball. The second he's hit, he curls up in a ball and he rolls around trying to grab for legs. This time he just couldn't take the punches. You know, Yizha was just coming over. He came at him hard immediately. Drops him with the overhand right. He just can't take a punch, man. He cannot take a punch in any way, shape, or form. This fight ended within 37 seconds. This guy's Westin Wilson is signed to the UFC when you have Muhammad Mokaev, who was ranked in the top 4 in the top 4, right? And he gets cut. You know, you got Martin Boudet, who was 7-1. He gets cut. And you have Westin Wilson on the roster. Interesting. Either way, on to the next. We got Michel Pereira versus Kyle Daukaus. Now, this fight, I'm watching it, and I'm watching, and I turn my head away for a slight second, which you never do in a Michel Pereira fight. I turn my head away for 1 second. The commentators start going crazy. I look back, all I see is Kyle Daukaus, because I'm turning back, and I'm like, okay, all right, Michel Pereira got the KO. All I see is Kyle Daukaus just raining down elbows. I'm like, no, because this was the first fight of the night that I got wrong as far as my picks are concerned. But yeah, so Michel Pereira throws a very wide left hook. Kyle Daukaus comes on the inside of that with a short right hook, clips him, puts him down. Beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah, he got countered badly, and then Kyle Daukaus just rained down elbows on him, hurt him, and finished him. Now, Michel Pereira did argue this. He got up immediately, but I think it was because he was woken up by an elbow. Kyle Daukaus was raining elbows down on him. I think he woke him up, and then he ran over to the ref to complain about it, to argue the stoppage, and it was correct. He went out. He just got woken up by an elbow. On to the next. Rongzu versus Austin Hubbard. Now, I will say this. Listen. I was surprised by Austin Hubbard today. I thought that in my prediction video, I said that Austin Hubbard isn't good at anywhere at all. I mean, he's still not really, but he came out very aggressive in the first round. I could see an argument for giving him the first round. 2 judges did. This was a 30-27 victory for Rongzu. 30-27, 29-28, 29-28 for Rongzu. But I can definitely see a world where I didn't think he won the first round because I thought that Rongzu's pressure, his leg kicks were, got him in the round. But Austin Hubbard, he landed some combinations. He landed a head kick. He got an uppercut in that round. In the first round, he got a takedown in that first round. So I can definitely see a world where you give it to Austin Hubbard. But, it is what it is. The second round comes. Rongzu's pressuring him now. Pressuring him hard. You could see Austin Hubbard starting to slow down in the second round. Rongzu's landing strong leg kicks. So he's continuing to land the leg kicks from the first round. So the leg kicks are slowing him down. He's kind of telegraphing that right, but he's throwing that right hand hard. He lands a 3-punch combination. After Austin Hubbard took him down, he gets up and lands an immediate 3-punch combination. And yeah, the second round, he just outlanded him. The pressure was there. He got taken down, but got right back up. Third round comes around. Austin Hubbard attempts a takedown. Rongzu stuffs the takedown. He's landing the harder shots. At the end of the round, he does the point to the ground thing. At the end of the round, he's like doing this. The right hand was just landing often in the third. Hubbard slowed while Rongzu kept up the pressure. Yeah, it's just he was much crispier. He was much more, you could tell that he wasn't as tired. He wasn't as gassed. His significant strikes landed per minute was like 5.9 at a 51% clip. So he was landing on Austin Hubbard. So yeah, he wins this fight by decision. We got that one correct. On to the next. Lorner Kavanagh versus Charles Johnson. I say that because we got this one wrong. And you know what? In my prediction video, I said it. I said, why give Lorner Charles now? Why? Even though Lorner was doing well, the first round, he won the first round, in my opinion. I'd have to look at the cards to see if they scored the first round and who they gave it to, but I'm pretty sure they gave it to Lorner. Lorner was landing. He started immediately landing hard leg kicks, an inside leg kick, an outside leg kick. He landed a nice hook, left hook. He landed an uppercut. He was working the body, combinations. Charles Johnson had to clinch him to kind of slow him down in the first round. But then the second round comes, and Charles Johnson, being the unpredictable striker, the fast striker, the having the amazing gas tank that he does, lands a nasty right hook and puts Lorner down. And Lorner was out bad. He was out bad. And so my thing is just like, he's a young prospect. Why give him Charles, Charles is now the new C-Rod. He's the prospect killer. He's literally becoming the new C-Rod. just making a name off of taking out prospects that everyone is super high on. Loner looked good, man. He looked sharp, but on the he threw a strike, forgot what he threw, but on the exit, hands down, chin here. Charles being very fast, like I noted in my prediction video, very fast, very quick, very powerful. He knocked out Joshua Van. Now he's now knocked out Loner Kavanagh, and so keep this guy away from the good prospects, you know. Ramazan was on PED, so that's why he got the better of Charles, in my opinion. But keep Charles away from the prospects, and you know, be fair to Charles. He's been fighting a lot of people, man. He has a lot of fights in the UFC. Give him someone up the rankings. Give him the number 11 guy, number 10 guy, number 9 guy. Give him 9 to 15, I think. Give him one of those. He's fought the prospects like you guys wanted him to do, and he's taken them out. He's not the guy that you want to give prospects to get them into the division. You want to give that to someone else. Let someone else do that. So Loner loses by KO. We did lose this one. I did say Loner would win by decision. That did not happen. On to the next. Maheshate. Now Gage Young versus Gage Young. Gage Young wins this fight by with a scorecard of 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. Maheshate came out looking good early. He was landing the jab early. He was landing combinations early that was snapping Gage Young's head back. He was timing Gage Young's entries, clipping Gage Young. He was looking good. Gage Young stumbled him with a head kick. I don't know if it stumbled him or he just fell off balance, but he caught him with a nice head kick. But Maheshate comes out in the second round and he's coming out strong. He's landing early. He's landing a front kick. But Gage Young does start to adjust. He does start to adjust his game plan. He's doubling up on the jab. He's mixing in kicks, and they're throwing back and forth. But he secures a takedown at the end of the round. Transitions right into full mount. So at this point, you start to see the tides turning. Gage Young did not want to lose. I think this would have been his second or third loss in the UFC, and you don't want to come out losing all your fights, your first three fights. Okay, so he comes out in the third round. He's looking for a takedown early. He's got Maheshate on the fence. Maheshate breaks free and lands a nice elbow. So again, these guys are going back and forth, But Young lands a nice combination in the last minute of the fight, and he gets Maheshate in the clinch to end the round. Because of that clinch and the combination, I do think that won Gage Young the fight by decision. On to the next, we got Taiyilake Nueraji versus Kiefer Crosbie. Now, Kiefer Crosbie, man, let's talk. Okay? Taiyilake lands an illegal knee on you. Busts your head open. You're leaking. And you tell the ref that you're okay to go. This is when you turn in full Aljo mode, man. Full Aljamain Sterling. You're never going to win a fight in the UFC. You have an opportunity here to get a win. Not only get a win, but you get your win and your show and your win bonus. You win money, purse. Why tell the ref that you can continue? You clearly were rocked, bro. I get it. Listen, if this is me and I'm in your position, 0-2 in the UFC, everything hurts. I can't see anything. I can't hear anything. I can't feel anything. I need to go to the hospital. I'm getting that win money. I'm getting that show money. Everything freaking hurts. I can't see anything. I can't taste anything, even. Nothing is working. I can't move my fingers. I can't, the whole nine, the works, bro. You don't have to, throw your ego aside for a minute, man, and just understand that it's not realistic because you were hurt bad by that knee. You're leaking, you come into the fight, what do you think is going to happen versus a dangerous guy like Taiyilake? The fight starts. Kiefer Crosbie immediately shoots. He's like half the size of Taiyilake, by the way. Half the size of this guy. He shoots immediately. They get into a scramble. The fight gets on the ground. Taiyilake is smashing his face in with elbows. Right? They scramble. Kiefer Crosbie scrambles back up a little bit, gets on a knee. He's on one knee and hand down, or both knees. Either way, he was down. Taiyilake slams a knee into his face. The man tells the ref he's okay. So what do you think happens? They get into another scramble. The fight gets to the ground. Taiyilake is dangerous. He's literally jumping off the ground while on all fours, jumping off the ground, slamming elbows into Kiefer Crosbie's face, just straight off, airborne. Ref stops the fight. Now, for the illegal knee, the ref took 2 points, but I knew immediately that this fight was going to end in a TKO. It's like, dude, like, Kiefer, bro, come on, man. I mean, and then who are your coaches not saying, bro? Like, if I was his coach, I'm telling him to, man, you better sit your butt down. Like, you were getting dominated before the knee. What do you think's gonna happen after you tell the ref you're okay? Unbelievable. We got this one right, but it's like it pissed me off because like listen. Okay, not everyone's like me. Not everyone's like me. He's a fighter. He's a fighter, so I get it. He's tough. He's tough. Now he just only got his show. Anyways, Sumudaerji, Sumudaerji. Okay, Sumudaerji versus Kevin Borjas. I said this in my prediction video. I said Kevin Borjas would be kept at range for the entire fight, and Sumudaerji would pick him apart. That is exactly what happened for all 3 rounds. Kevin Borjas landed like maybe 2 knees, and like that's it. Couldn't touch him. Sumudaerji kept him at range. It was all bad. All bad. Yeah, Kevin Borjas is what, 1-3 now? Yeah, he's Sumudaerji looked good, man. He looked good. Kept him at distance. He used his range. He's a lanky, rangy guy. Utilized that to his full capabilities today. He's very, very you know, he's got potential for sure. Sergei Spivak, Jesus, Pavlovich versus Waldo Cortes Acosta. This was a unanimous 30-27, 29-28, 29-28 victory for Sergei Pavlovich. Look, this fight just was just like, you can see the difference in reach. Immediately, that's what I noticed. Like, Waldo Cortes Acosta had to, like, lunge in to, like, even get close to landing a punch. Like, literally go airborne, as big as he is. But he is athletic, like I said. He's athletic, so he's able to jump with how big he is. Most heavyweights can't jump in the UFC, just so you know. That's just giving you and putting things into perspective for you. Most heavyweights in the UFC cannot jump. Waldo Cortes Acosta can actually get off the ground and jump, like airborne. So you see the difference in reach. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Sergei's like an 84-inch reach or something like that, or 81. I think it's 84. Waldo Cortes Acosta, according to the statistics, says 70-inch reach. I mean, he literally was lunging in to try and get close to landing, and he missed a lot. But both men, they start slugging early, right? Pavlovich is like pressing forward, pushing Acosta to the fence. You know, both men are slugging. You know, Pavlovich landed a right hand. Acosta, you know, he landed a overhand right. I think it was. I think it was overhand right. He landed, but they were both slugging early. Both of them were slugging early. But Pavlovich, man, that counter. You know, whenever Waldo Cortes Acosta would come in with that blitz or that lunging attack that he would use, Pavlovich would time it and just counter it every time with like a shovel uppercut. You know, he would just counter him every single time. The second round comes around, and you know, Cortes Acosta, he starts working the calf kicks, working the body a little bit to try and slow Pavlovich down, but Pavlovich starts landing that right, that counter right hook. You know what I'm saying? He lands a hard right with a left right behind it, right behind it. Acosta, you know, like I said, he would blitz in, but like if you see it, he would like it would be telegraphed almost. But there's nothing else he could have done because of the reach disadvantage. He had to blitz in. But there were some times he wasn't doing it off setups. He wasn't He was trying to work behind the jab, but how are you going to jab when you have a 14-inch reach disadvantage? So, against another good boxer. Pavlovich has fast hands. You saw that in his counters tonight. Very fast hands. In round 3, I think they both started the round with hard leg kicks. Cortes, Acosta, he lands a couple strikes. He lands an overhand. Pavlovich returns fire, lands his right and left hook. You know what I'm saying? He's landing uppercuts, and he landed an uppercut that I think broke Cortes Acosta's nose. And yeah, it was just the thing is he just kept Cortes Acosta at the end of his punches. The last two, similar to Sumudaerji, they were just keeping the opponents at the end of the punches, looking sharp, looking fast, looking crisp. And that's exactly what happened in this fight. So, Cortes Acosta's, he's good, man, but that reach is just he looked like he had T-Rex arms out there compared to Pavlovich. You noticed it immediately. Pavlovich has some freakishly long arms, and he has insane power. Everything he landed, it looked like Cortes Acosta's entire body would shake. His entire body looked like it would shake. So, yeah, I don't know. On to the next. Brian Ortega versus Aljamain Sterling. Now, this is the fight that was supposed to be a banger, but that was a garbage fight. How are you... Even when it got to the ground, it wasn't even high level. Like, Aljo just 50-45'd him. He was landing the jab early, He was landing the leg kicks. Brian Ortega's leg was it was done. That leg is done, like Joe Rogan would say. He destroyed his leg, man. Like, he destroyed Brian Ortega's leg. Brian Ortega, man, he was just getting beat up. The damage is... Even his eye, Brian Ortega's eye was, like, swollen. Like, when do you ever see Aljo, like, messing up some... Now, Aljo did land a knuckle in Brian Ortega's eye, and Brian Ortega complained that it was an eye poke, but it wasn't. It wasn't... It wasn't an eye poke, okay? It was not an eye poke. It was a knuckle into his eye. By the way, Aljo, if you see this, I'm looking to buy one of your bottles of rum. I really want to try it, actually. But, since I'm giving you props in this video, maybe you can throw me a little family discount. I'm Jamaican too, boy. You know what I'm saying? Medea. Wedota. Manayad, man. Yard me come from still, so maybe you can throw me a links to get one of your buck of them for free or something. Anyways. Yeah. Brian Ortega starts cutting off the cage in round 4 and 5, but it's too late because he's obviously slower. Like, Aljo had a very, 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 very noticeable speed advantage. He was just better everywhere, man. Brian Ortega just looks like a worn down shell of what he once was. His boxing looked terrible. Like, I feel like I've only seen Brian Ortega have like one good boxing showing versus like the Korean Zombie or something like that. It was like his best like boxing display that he ever put on. But yeah, this was a pretty one-sided fight, man. But it wasn't exciting. I didn't get the transitions on the floor. I didn't get the scrambles on the ground like I wanted. I didn't get the high level grappling like I wanted. This was just a pretty basic, Aljo throwing jabs. Aljo I think it was in the 4th or 3rd. In the 3rd, I think it was, he landed a vicious spinning back elbow. Vicious spinning back elbow. And then he started doing like twirly twirls. He was tired, I'm not gonna lie. He was noticeably slowing as the fight went on. That might have been in Brian Ortega's game plan to just have him get him into the later rounds and watch him slow, but at one point he was like running. Aljo was. And like the 5th round is like he was running. And Brian Ortega had to be like, yo, come on, man, like fight. And the ref even got in and said, like, oh, fight. Like, he made them fight because Aljo was like running, trying to like milk the clock. So, but either way, he still won the takedowns. He took him down. He got his back. He was, like I said in my prediction video, he'd be stronger on the ground. He'd win the grappling exchanges. He'd win the transitions. He'd win the transitions. He would end up in better positions when they were transitioning and on the ground, and he did. It was a 50-45, not much. I was very, very disappointed in this fight. I had high hopes for this fight, and it just was not what I thought it was going to be, mate. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, mate. You know? I was very disappointed, okay? Johnny Walker versus Zhang Mingyang. Now, what happened in this fight? Right? What happened? Now, Johnny Walker, he shoots immediately as the fight starts. Immediately. Comes out. He's landing. He shoots, but the thing, he gets reversed because he doesn't he doesn't get a takedown. Like Zhang just immediately reverses it and is landing nasty ground and pound. Like I thought it was gonna have been finished. Honestly, it was that bad. He was landing some nasty elbows. Walker gets to his feet. Walker did land a right hand that rocked him a little bit. What else? He shoots another takedown. It gets stuffed. He eats an elbow on the break. Round 2 starts. Zhang is like pressuring him hard, and he's landing to the body. Zhang, he's landing overhands. He's landing strong leg kicks, and then Walker just kicks him right into his perennial nerve and just buckles him. Zhang collapses, can't do anything. Walker is like raining down ground and pound. Something happens where the fight gets back to the feet, but then Zhang just falls down after the first punch because his leg is just completely done. The leg was done, okay? Now, this is a very unexpected thing to happen. I was very confident that Zhang was going to get a first round KO, and he didn't. I was very confident. This is just an unexpected thing. Sometimes things that happen, you get caught. I think Zhang will be back. Again, I don't think he's like top 5 or anything like that. I do think he's top 10 though. I do think he'll be a top 10 guy. But yeah, this is just Johnny Walker's night. If I'm Johnny Walker, I either retire on a good win because I think this win is gonna age well for him. I do see Zhang coming back into the picture. Retire. Because, he was getting beat up, man, when the fight started. He was getting beat up. It didn't look good for him. Up until he landed that kick into the perennial nerve. Or go to heavyweight. I know your brother's at heavyweight, but, I just don't accept a fight versus him. I can see Johnny Walker being very successful at heavyweight. Very successful. So, maybe you entertain that, Mr. Walker. Listen, guys. It's your boy, the MMA Mechanic. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all the above. Until next time.